kids, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome to the Video Outhouse. It's time for DC news here in the DC universe, and I'm being joined by...
Oh, how you doing, kids? Yes, he's using a normal voice for this
Such a relief.
What are you talking about?
No, forget
It's
it.
the same voice he uses all the time.
Now, watch the Marvel news, you know what I'm talking about.
That's not me. I don't do Marvel news.
He's been drinking. Anyway, we got DC
only
news for
12
you.
o'clock.
We got DC. Yeah, well, you start early. We got DC news for you. First up is a big story about what's going on with DC. I hear that DC Comics no longer exists. DC Comics is gone, kids. It's disappeared. It's been run out of business. It no longer exists, and that's not BS. That's true because now,
Actually, DC Comics does
Disney?
still exist. It's now, however, controlled by a new division of Warner Brothers called DC Entertainment, which means it's under the purview of Jeff Robinoff, the guy who runs the motion picture part of the Warner Brothers people. The deal here is that Diane Nelson is the vice president of DC Entertainment. She is the person that Paul Levitz, the publisher, used to report to. Paul Levitz is no longer publisher at DC. He's been demoted, although he says he's a consultant and he's a writer.
It's not a demotion. It's not a demotion.
It's a lateral move.
Paul is being allowed to go back to his first love, which is writing.
Paul hasn't written since the Legion like 20 years ago.
That's because he's been busy doing all this important corporate work at DC, and he hasn't been allowed to. But now he's been allowed to go back to his first love.
Yes, he is a writer. He'll also be considered a contributing editor and an overall consultant to DC Entertainment. What is the first thing that Mr. Levitz is going to be working on? Well, boys and girls, if you're a fan of Adventure Comics, you got Adventure Comics over there?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Somewhere.
Well, maybe he does.
Here we go.
If you're a fan of Adventure Comics, guess who the new writer of Adventure Comics is?
Who?
Paul Levitz.
Hey, that's great. Congratulations, Paul.
See the guy drawing it, Francis Manapul?
Yes.
Last issue's 5.
Why?
Either he doesn't like Paul Levitz or he doesn't like Paul Levitz. It's a little unusual. Because the day before this was announced, he did this interview on Comic Book Resource where he said of all the stuff he was planning on doing for the future, the day after that they made the announcement over at DC and he announced that his last issue was going to be 5.
Okay. So what about Jeff Johns?
Jeff Johns apparently is leaving the book, boys and girls. He's going away. He's going.
Jeff Johns had more stroke than that over at DC.
Well, you know, you got to give the guy who got demoted a job.
Okay.
Reallocate.
Well, hell, I hear Metal Men don't have a writer.
Yeah, that's true. So DC's not announced exactly who's going to be taking over the official office of publisher. And one of Miss Nelson's focuses...
We assume it's Dan DiDio.
We assume it's Dan DiDio, but there are also a couple older people. There's Mike Carlin, who used to be an editor over at Marvel. He's a possibility.
Carlin's been around DC for a long time.
Right. There's a couple other people that might be. I don't know what this does for a marketing guy, Bob Wayne, who not very well liked by me. But anyway, one of the major
One of the few suits at Warner's he's ever talked with, and he doesn't like it.
Actually, I met Paul Levitz a couple times. He's cool. One of the major things that Diane Nelson's going to be doing is DC's going to actually get their heads out of their asses and do digital comics, something that everybody else seems to not have a problem with. That is going to be her main focus. By the way, Robinoff, he's been wanting to take over DC Comics ever since he took over for Warner Pictures in 2007 because he goes, they can't get any movies done. They can't get any TV stuff out. They can't push this stuff. What the hell are they doing over there?
So Paul's gone, and DC's gone. Now it's DC Entertainment.
DC Entertainment.
DCE.
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 Although it'll still be considered DCU if you go to panels.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be changing the logo or anything,
No.
but it'll be DC Entertainment from now on.
Right.
Sorry, bye DC. Loved you. It was great. Tearing the room down tomorrow. Putting the DC Entertainment room up. So next up.
They'll look a lot alike.
Next up. Yeah, they'll look
exactly the same.
Next up is this. It's going away for a while, but it's not going away, period.
Blackest Night will not be shipping anytime at all in the month of January. DC's got something else special planned.
JSA, I hear.
Yeah, they've also added a Blackest Night Justice Society of America limited series to the number of times to this book. But apparently DC's got some kind of event going on in January, which will lead into whatever the last issue of Blackest Night is in December. And then in January you'll get the after effects of that. And then in February the book will go back to its normal schedule.
Okay. Hopefully that will give them time to finally finish up this Ambush Bug number 6, which is rocketing towards you, and number 7, which is also rocketing towards
This
you.
is the last issue of Ambush Bug.
What?
Ambush Bug number 6 is something that's supposed to have been coming out for a while. DC's always said there's been some kind of issue. Supposedly it's either a rights issue or something they did in the book. We will not see an Ambush Bug number 6. We will, however, see Ambush Bug number 7, which is going to basically make no sense whatsoever.
What? Why don't they just make 6, 7 or 7, 6?
Well, no. And it happened apparently due to circumstances out of DC's control.
Was this like them doing a story about a babysitter putting a baby in a microwave or something with an Elseworlds thing?
Could be.
About 10 years ago?
And by the way, since Paul Levitz is no longer running DC, they won't be pulping any more comics. Thanks a lot, Paul, for being eccentric. Bum. Weasel. He's okay. Okay, go on.
I thought you liked him.
He's okay, but that whole pulping a comic thing was just really annoying.
I thought you liked him.
That was
love,
silly.
Hate. It's a love.
And it was an Alan Moore book of all things.
Say your name backwards. No, you disappear when you do that. Zantana. Zantana's coming your way big time, and hopefully she'll be dressed just like this.
Well, we already knew Paul Dini was writing the book. It'll be drawn by Stephanie Roux, who's actually a pretty good artist who does a lot of covers for DC and Marvel. Apparently, he's been working on this book for at least about a year or so, but they wouldn't tell us who the artist was, and DC finally said it would be Stephanie Roux who's drawing this book, which I assume is still going to be canceled after 12 issues.
Why? Why would you assume that?
It's a magic book. Magic books don't sell.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that and underwater books.
He knows more about magic than
Yeah, I disappear. So I know the stuff like that.
Oh,
all the magic wizards tell me, those books don't sell. I don't know what the problem is.
Here's Bo's magic. So anyway,
magic elixir.
Last story, yeah, magic elixir. Last story up,
Very
Gin Gold. He drinks Gin Gold all the time. The last story up is about
That's why I'm all stretchy.
Zuda Comics. Zuda Comics. What about Zuda?
Zuda Comics, which nobody really talks about because nobody really gives a crap.
Well,
because
that's why we talk about them.
basically the deal with Zuda Comics is this. A bunch of
I got a
creators,
business to run.
they submit ideas to DC.
So you pissed off Paul Levitz. You pissed off Zuda Comics. Is there anyone else you want to crap on today?
Until I just mentioned it. Did you know what Zuda Comics was?
Yes, I know what Zuda Comics is.
What
It's
is it?
online.
Online only.
People contribute online. They do books online. Supposedly, at some point, it'll trickle down to actually a book, the stuff that's actually popular, and actually do something with it.
Well, actually, there will be a book.
And it's done online because it's cheap. It doesn't cost. You don't have to make one of these to do an online
and you pay the
comic.
creators
But if
next
it's
to
successful
nothing.
online, then you can make one of
You
these.
pay the creators next to nothing. Yeah, that's why it works financially. Anyway, you'll actually see a print version of a Zuda book, High Moon. It's coming out in October. It's from David Gallagher, Steve Ellis. It involves
Imagine that. You think somebody might have just mentioned that 20 seconds ago.
It's it'll be coming out in a trade, which since very few people actually go to Zuda because I've seen the numbers. People are going to go, what is this a trade of, by the way?
Then fine. You know, who knew what this was? Well, no, that's a bad example. Who knew what... No,
Hey, Haunted Tank was good.
Who knew what this was before it first came out?
I want another Haunted Tank miniseries. This is very, very good.
Okay, Zuda.
But High Moon involves werewolves in the Old West. Yes,
Fine.
that's what it is.
Well,
and that'll be coming in October, just in time for Halloween. Because if there's anything that says Halloween, it's werewolves.
In the Old West.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. There you go. Okay, Sven, thanks. So anyway, that's it. We're done with DC News. Thanks.
No. DC Entertainment News.
DC Entertainment. DCE. 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 Okay, got it. DCE. We're done with DCE News. So until next time, this is Comic Book Man
And Bo.
saying drink a pint and do some magic.
And saying, hi, Bob Wayne. See ya.
Okay.
That's okay.
Told you.
And he's off drinking, kids.
Told you
He's
he's
off
magic.
drinking at 12:23 in the afternoon on a Sunday. Bye.